right here where this valley comes out, there's a natural waterway. It's a dry riverbed. That is called a wadi. If you went into that wadi, you would find there are rocks all over the place, but they've all been pushed out of the way to make a path.
Now, a groundbreaking discovery has surfaced that has caught the attention of both the scientific and religious communities, potentially shedding light on an ancient mystery. For centuries, uncovering proof of the Red Sea crossing has been a formidable challenge for archaeologists, historians, and biblical scholars alike. Yet, with advancements in technology and recent underwater findings, researchers may finally be approaching a breakthrough. Could this new evidence confirm the biblical story of the Red Sea crossing? And how might these findings shift our understanding of this historic event? We invite you to join us as we delve into this remarkable discovery surrounding the Red Sea crossing, central to the dramatic Exodus story. In the book of Exodus, the Bible places Israel at the heart of an epic narrative, casting it as the main character in one of the Bible's most unforgettable stories. This ancient nation, which has since evolved into the Israel we know today, plays a leading role in many of the Bible's significant events. These stories, spanning millennia, are woven throughout the Bible, with the most powerful accounts recorded in Exodus. Named from the Greek word meaning departure, Exodus vividly recounts the Israelites' journey from bondage in Egypt to Canaan, the land promised by God. This journey remains a foundational event in biblical history and a pivotal story in numerous religious traditions. One of the most remarkable moments in the book of Exodus is the story of the Israelites' escape from Pharaoh's oppressive rule. This story is famous for the 10 plagues God sent upon Egypt to compel Pharaoh to release the Israelites, ranging from the Nile turning to blood to swarms of locusts and, ultimately, the death of Egypt's firstborn sons. The climax comes as Pharaoh finally releases the Israelites, only to pursue them shortly afterward with his army. When the Israelites reached the Red Sea, they found themselves trapped between the sea ahead and Pharaoh's advancing forces behind. According to the Bible, this is when a miraculous event unfolded. The Red Sea parted, creating a dry path for the Israelites with towering walls of water on each side. Known as the parting of the Red Sea, this event is a central story in both Jewish and Christian traditions. The timing and scale of this miracle are extraordinary. Just as Pharaoh's forces entered the path through the sea, the waters surged back, engulfing the army and securing the Israelites' escape. For those witnessing it, this would have been an unimaginable sight. A vast sea splitting open to create a pathway for a whole nation. The Bible describes the Red Sea, also called the Sea of Reeds, parting to allow the Israelites to cross, a feat that would be monumental given the sea's size and depth. For thousands of years, the story has been a powerful symbol of faith, passed down across generations. Many people still see it as a testament to God's divine power, a clear message to the world delivered through the nation of Israel. This miraculous event is often regarded as a display of God's might, celebrated by believers worldwide. Scientists, however, seek to understand such stories through natural causes. To accept an event, they rely on tangible evidence and logical explanations. Scientists base historical validation on solid facts, physical artifacts, and documented records. This often puts religious accounts, particularly miracles, at odds with scientific inquiry, as they rarely fit within the established laws of nature. For example, scientists have attempted to explain the parting of the Red Sea through natural phenomena, suggesting possible causes such as strong winds or geological events. Yet, without concrete evidence that aligns with scientific principles, events like this remain points of fascination, mystery, and debate. The search for answers continues as researchers explore ancient texts, conduct experiments, and analyze data in an effort to bridge the gap between historical narratives and scientific explanations. Without concrete, verifiable evidence, stories that challenge scientific understanding will remain subjects of debate and curiosity. The story of the Red Sea crossing is one such account, sparking extensive discussion. The idea of an ocean parting on its own defies known laws of physics and geology, making it a remarkable and contentious tale. There is currently no scientific theory or law that would explain an ocean splitting apart naturally. Forces like gravity and ocean currents would strongly oppose such a phenomenon. For example, gravity, which continually pulls objects toward Earth's center, doesn't suddenly disappear or weaken in any specific area. If we consider the biblical account of the Red Sea, parting to create a path with towering water walls, the forces involved would be immense. Some estimates suggest the walls would need to be over 100 feet high to allow for safe passage, and the gravitational forces alone would make maintaining such a structure incredibly challenging. Natural phenomena like tidal waves or tsunamis can cause temporary changes in water levels, but they wouldn't create a walkable path through an ocean. Studies of similar occurrences show that while seismic activity or large waves can lead to brief water shifts, they do not produce the stable conditions described in the Exodus story. Some suggest that only a divine or supernatural force could explain this event, yet such explanations are beyond the scope of scientific verification. Modern science is based on reproducible experiments and observable data, and divine intervention cannot be measured or tested in this way. As a result, until tangible evidence is discovered, the idea of an ocean parting to allow a large group of people to cross remains both intriguing and controversial. Some archaeologists and scholars even question whether the pharaoh associated with the Exodus perished in the waters. Instead, they propose that this pharaoh might have continued his rule after the Israelites left Egypt. This theory is supported by historical records and inscriptions that suggest the pharaoh's reign may have extended beyond the Exodus. For example, some researchers note the lack of clear archaeological evidence for the mass drowning of Pharaoh's army, fueling debate over the biblical account's accuracy. It is also possible that the pharaoh's body was recovered, or that he never entered the water, remaining on land while his army perished. To address these differing views, scientists and historians have conducted detailed investigations, including underwater searches and analysis of ancient records, to learn more about the historical context of the Exodus. However, the task remains challenging, given the limitations of ancient documentation compared to today's advanced technology. Locating the precise route of the Red Sea crossing, believed to have existed over 4,000 years ago, is a significant challenge for researchers examining the Gulf of Aqaba. Determining the exact crossing point is essential, and fortunately, ancient sources like the Bible provide detailed descriptions of the site. These texts have helped narrow down potential areas around Egypt, serving as a valuable guide. According to these accounts, the crossing occurred in a vast body of water with a depth of at least 2,000 feet, ruling out smaller, shallower bodies like lakes or rivers. The Gulf of Aqaba, positioned between the Sinai Peninsula and Saudi Arabia, aligns closely with this requirement, featuring depths over 1,800 feet. Early studies focused on the Gulf of Suez as a potential crossing site, but its average depth of 900 feet fell short of the biblical specifications. This discrepancy in depth led researchers to conclude that the Gulf of Suez was not the crossing location. After extensive exploration, scientists identified the Gulf of Aqaba as a likely match for the biblical description of the crossing. The Gulf reaches an impressive depth of about 5,000 feet at its lowest points, a staggering measurement that dwarfs even iconic structures like the Empire State Building, which stands around 1,454 feet tall. The towering water walls described in the biblical account would have been unimaginably high, creating a path with walls far taller than any modern building. These massive water walls would have been awe-inspiring, with the Israelites likely feeling small in comparison. Situated along ancient trade routes, the Gulf of Aqaba has long been a significant regional landmark, acting as a natural boundary between the Sinai and Arabian peninsulas. The Israelites crossing here would have held immense strategic importance. Adding to the intensity of this scene was the looming threat of Egyptian chariots, the advanced military technology of the time. For the Israelites, caught between these formidable vehicles and the immense walls of water, the experience must have been overwhelming. The Bible describes a powerful wind parting the sea, creating a passage through the water. This event, known as the parting of the Red Sea, involved not only the separation of the water, but also fierce winds blowing across the seabed for hours, drying the ground and adding an element of chaos to the escape. Imagine being part of a group that had adapted to a stable life in Egypt, complete with regular meals and a structured routine, suddenly uprooted and following Moses into unknown territory without a clear plan or guaranteed destination. The fear and uncertainty among the people would have been intense, especially as some expressed a desire to return to Egypt rather than face the difficulties of the desert. The constant threat of the Egyptian army closing in only heightened their desperation, making their journey through the parted sea an unforgettable ordeal. The Egyptians were renowned for their sophisticated chariot technology, allowing their forces to move at speeds up to 25 miles per hour, significantly faster than most other armies of the time. As the Israelites fled, the Egyptian chariots relentlessly pursued them, closing the gap despite the Israelites' 10-day head start. The fear and desperation among the Israelites must have been overwhelming, as they felt trapped with seemingly no escape from the swift-moving chariots of their former captors. Shifting focus, this raises an intriguing question. Was the Gulf of Aqaba indeed the site of the biblical crossing? And how did scientists arrive at this possibility? While depth alone doesn't confirm the location, as other bodies of water might have similar depths, recent studies have brought new insights. Located at the northern tip of the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aqaba has been extensively explored with advanced technologies like sonar mapping and submersibles, uncovering potential clues. Research teams have found ancient coral formations and underwater structures that appear to match descriptions in historical texts. Additionally, discoveries of artifacts such as chariot wheels and human remains in the area have provided further context. By aligning these findings with historical records, scientists are piecing together evidence that could confirm the Gulf of Aqaba as the true crossing site. This blend of archaeology and modern technology is not only a quest for historical accuracy, but also an exciting journey back in time. Exploring the Gulf of Aqaba's mysteries. Situated in the northeastern Arabian Peninsula, the Gulf of Aqaba is a unique geographical area bordered by Egypt, Jordan, Israel, and Saudi Arabia. This gulf is steeped in historical and biblical significance, especially due to its ties to the events described in the Book of Exodus. The Gulf of Aqaba is part of the Red Sea, which has served as an essential maritime route for thousands of years. According to the biblical story, the Israelites' escape involved crossing a large body of water, which many scholars suggest could be the Gulf of Aqaba. Adding credibility to this theory, Mount Sinai, a site traditionally associated with Moses receiving the Ten Commandments, is located across the Red Sea from the Gulf. This proximity supports the idea that the Gulf of Aqaba could have been the crossing site. The region has been a focal point of archaeological interest as scholars search for clues that might validate the biblical narrative. Adding to the intrigue, the Gulf of Aqaba is surrounded by impressive geological formations. Among them is the narrow gorge known as Piha-Hiroth, meaning the opening of the mouth in Hebrew. This gorge, with its steep granite walls, forms a natural passage that aligns with biblical descriptions of a narrow path. This distinctive landscape detail further fuels the belief that this area might have played a role in the legendary crossing, making the Gulf of Aqaba a rich site of both natural wonder and historical mystery. The Bible vividly describes the tense moment when the Israelites, with Pharaoh's army approaching from behind and a vast sea before them, found themselves in a perilous position. This location, as recounted in the book of Exodus, is marked by divine intervention, where a pillar of cloud descended, casting darkness over the Egyptian forces while the Israelites made their crossing. The gorge known as Piha-Hiroth, leading to Wadi Watir, is central to this narrative and matches the geographical details from ancient texts. Remarkably, the landscape of this region continues to support theories about the Red Sea crossing. The crossing itself is one of the most analyzed events in biblical history, and the natural features around this gorge align closely with descriptions in ancient sources. However, the landscape has changed dramatically over time, with modern infrastructure now covering much of the area. What was once a remote stretch of the Gulf of Aqaba is now a bustling shipping route, handling a significant portion of global trade, including goods from the Dead Sea. What's particularly compelling is that beneath the Gulf of Aqaba's busy waters, scientists have uncovered artifacts that may correspond with the biblical crossing. Submerged chariot wheels and remains hint at an ancient event that aligns with the story in Exodus. Now that researchers believe they have identified the crossing site, with physical details matching descriptions from ancient texts, it adds credibility to the biblical account and suggests the story may hold a kernel of historical truth. For instance, archaeological discoveries in the area have revealed remnants that could relate to the crossing described in the Bible. Additionally, studies of Wadi Watir, which seasonally transforms into a vast floodplain, highlight the shifting landscape over millennia. During the rainy season, this area occasionally floods the modern road, a testament to the region's changing topography. Now for an exciting twist in the story. For centuries, the tale of the Red Sea crossing was seen by some as myth and legend, while believers cherished it as historical truth. Then, in the sweltering summer of 2024, a groundbreaking discovery changed everything. Led by Dr. Elena Martinez, a team of marine archaeologists had been searching the seabed near the Sinai Peninsula, inspired by an ancient manuscript mentioning chariots lost beneath the waves. After years of fruitless searching, their perseverance finally paid off. One hot afternoon, the team's submersible picked up unusual shapes on the sonar. Filled with anticipation, they descended deeper. What they found was astonishing. Rows of chariot wheels preserved under layers of sediment, alongside human and horse remains, silent witnesses to a catastrophic event. The team uncovered hieroglyphs referring to an exodus and a miraculous sea crossing, and they even discovered a golden amulet inscribed with the name Moses. The world's media descended on the site, capturing global attention. Scientists, historians, and theologians debated the discovery's implications, but the evidence was undeniable. The Red Sea crossing was no longer just a story. It was a historical event, preserved in the depths of the ocean. This finding reignited discussions at the intersection of faith and science, bridging gaps and inspiring new inquiries into our ancient past. Dr. Martinez looked at the shimmering artifacts with awe. They weren't just ancient relics. They were pieces of a story shared by all of humanity. Could these findings finally answer how such a monumental event actually happened? Let us know your thoughts below. In a recent discovery, scientists found something remarkable in a dry riverbed. Rocks that looked like they'd been purposely moved, forming a clear pathway. This unusual arrangement hints that a powerful natural force, maybe even something like the parting of the Red Sea, could have shaped the area, leaving behind this intriguing formation. Then came an unexpected find. Researcher Ron Wyatt uncovered a partially submerged pillar in the water. At first, it seemed like just another artifact, probably unrelated to the crossing of the Red Sea. But as Wyatt cleaned it up, something incredible appeared. Despite years of wear, ancient Hebrew inscriptions were still visible. These markings revealed that King Solomon himself had set up the pillar. This ancient marker seems to honor the event described in the Bible, pinpointing a spot that may have been the very site of the crossing. While it doesn't offer direct proof, it adds a fascinating new piece to the puzzle. Adding to the mystery, scientists also found a rare fish species deep in the Gulf of Aqaba, thought by many to be near the crossing site. Known locally as the Soul of Moses, this fish is unique because both of its eyes are on the same side of its head. According to local legend, when Moses parted the Red Sea, this fish was split in half, becoming a symbol of the miraculous event. This discovery brings together natural history and ancient folklore in a powerful way. In exploring the Gulf of Aqaba, scientists have revealed surprising details about the Red Sea crossing. For years, people imagined the Israelites walking along a smooth, clear path through the water. But recent research shows that the seafloor here is anything but flat. Using sonar mapping and submersibles, scientists have found steep underwater canyons, ridges, and plateaus, with some parts dropping over 1,800 feet, while others rise sharply. This means the Israelites wouldn't have walked through on a simple path. They would have faced a tricky, uneven journey over submerged hills and valleys. Geological studies also reveal that the Gulf of Aqaba was formed by tectonic activity over millions of years, giving it a rough and dynamic landscape. These dramatic features provide clues that are helping scientists piece together the likely path of the crossing. Together, these discoveries offer a more detailed view of what the journey may have looked like, bringing this ancient story to life in a whole new way. The Bible tells the dramatic tale of Pharaoh's army chasing the Israelites across a miraculous dry path through the Red Sea. Known as the parting of the Red Sea, this event in the book of Exodus describes how Moses led the Israelites safely across the seabed. But as Pharaoh's chariots entered the pathway, things took a terrifying turn. The chariots, advanced for their time with spoked wheels and elaborate designs, began to break down in the middle of the sea. Wheels fell off, and the chariots became stuck, leaving the soldiers stranded with no way to move forward or retreat. According to the story, this breakdown might have been caused by a sudden shift in the seabed, or even by a supernatural force. As the waters came rushing back, they swallowed the chariots and soldiers, creating a torrent that pulled everything beneath the surface. This catastrophe is said to have involved around 600 chariots, a significant portion of the Egyptian army, along with weapons and armor swept away into the depths. Modern archaeologists and scientists are now exploring possible crossing sites along the Gulf of Aqaba, hoping to uncover artifacts that may have survived on the seafloor. The discovery of ancient items like pottery and tools in the area has fueled hope that remnants of Pharaoh's army, such as chariot wheels and armor, might still be preserved underwater. Recently, a deep-sea exploration team made a major breakthrough that could substantiate the Red Sea crossing story. Archaeologists uncovered artifacts dating back around 3,500 years, including chariot wheels separated from their frames and fragments of chariot bodies scattered across the seabed. These relics, were located near a submerged land bridge that fits the biblical description of the crossing site. Alongside the chariot remnants, fossilized horse bones were discovered, adding further support to the account. The discovery of these horse bones is especially meaningful, as their presence in one location strongly indicates that a large number of horses, and possibly chariots, were lost here, consistent with the scale of the biblical narrative. The site also yielded coral-encrusted artifacts, potentially ancient weapons and tools, suggesting that this area may have been a battleground or staging ground for conflict. These findings not only provide physical evidence that aligns with the Red Sea crossing story, but also open new avenues for exploring ancient Egyptian warfare and technology. What makes this discovery even more exciting is that there is still so much left to uncover. Hundreds of artifacts remain underwater, waiting to reveal more of this ancient mystery. The Gulf of Aqaba, a key part of the Red Sea, has been a focus for historians and scientists alike. The area features a submerged land bridge that some believe may have been used during the crossing, adding a layer of geographical support to the story in the Book of Exodus. Chariot wheels and other items found so far have been dated to Egypt's 18th dynasty, the period thought to coincide with Moses' time. These artifacts, carefully analyzed and displayed in museums, provide a rare, tangible link to ancient history, sparking renewed interest in the Red Sea crossing and its potential historical basis. What do you think about this recent evidence supporting the Red Sea crossing? Share your thoughts in the comments below.